go, another load of washing dried. Well, we're back from our camping trip now by a few days, and I hope you've enjoyed the antics that we got up to. And if I'm able to fold this, I can crack on with what I want to do today. Now, I'm going to be heading off to Plymouth fairly soon in the van on my own, but before that, got a couple of jobs in the house that I want to get on with, and the first one is to deal with the window. I want to get those planks that I've got in the hallway and cut them into shape and put them in position, probably try and paint them, although I'm not sure I've got the same green as I have here, this sort of bluey green, so I may have to try and fudge it a bit, but at least get them in position, and that's another job done. There's lots of little tiddly jobs now to do in and around the kitchen, and then some major ones later on. Right, here are my planks. Lovely. I didn't use these, as I thought I might, for the plate rack, and they're a bit wider, so I think they're going to do well in the window. Let's just shove them up here. Now, I just wanted to point out that this whole system I've been using now for a few days is really working well. The draining board is fantastic, despite a few people giving me hints and tips about wanting to put grooves down there. I don't actually want to do that, but thanks for the suggestion. Somebody else suggested not using pine because it'll go black, but I'm going to be adding more oil on the surface and beeswax, and going to be keeping that going. I actually enjoy doing that, so I'm very happy with the light coloured wood. I wouldn't want anything darker, so that's really good. The plate rack has been brilliant. I'm really pleased with the plate rack, and I love the portability of this, that it goes in and goes out, so that's really working. And the extra little bit of draining board, that's going well. People suggesting all sorts of different curves, people obviously saying do it properly, and I mentioned before, don't know what that means. Now, before I get to the window, which I'm going to measure in a second, when we were camping we were using these, and we're getting through a number of these, and I don't know what to do with them. It doesn't say on the back how to dispose of them. If you're one of these camping people, could you mention in the comments, that would be really handy, what to do with these little butane gas cartridges and how to dispose of them. Obviously I don't want to put them in the main rubbish. I don't suppose they're up for recycling, but it's a shame. Not quite sure what you're supposed to do. Right, so first job I'm going to do is measure up all the bits around the window and then slice up the planks and screw them together. We're using brackets if I've still got enough brackets, and hopefully that will line the window very nicely. Well, work has stopped just for a moment because the lovely Julia has passed by. I'm filming on Easter Sunday actually, trying to get this done. All my family are very busy, so I'm on my own doing my thing. And the lovely Julia is off to see her family, but she's just stopped off and she said, "Happy Easter." And she bought me some roses. I feel so bad because I've got into the habit of not thinking about Easter really as a giving time because the family is very busy. If I'd seen my grandchildren, I would have taken some Easter eggs down, and maybe if I'm passing that way, I can get some when they're on the sale. Because they're trying to get shot of them, obviously, after Easter, and drop them in because I'm sure they'll be overindulged anyway. But thank you, Julia. I don't eat processed. I don't eat chocolate. I try not to eat processed food, although she did point out my shelf there is full of some tins of various processed food, which is true, which is why they're not really being used up. And I need to sort of get rid of all of that and replace it with all the unprocessed food. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yes, I sort of have this rule that whilst I'm trying not to eat sugar and I'm trying not to eat biscuits and all those bad things, as long as I don't buy them, I've got a clear conscience. But if somebody else buys them for me on special occasions, well, I think, you know, little in moderation, it's all right. So thank you, Julia. I'm going to enjoy these. Right, I'm going to tuck in a second, but first I must measure up the bits of wood. Now, the thing is, I've actually realized, of course, in making my window frame, that I'm going to need to, on the upright, reduce the upright from my measurement with 2 of these levels, because they're going to be on the inside. That's right, so they're going to be slightly shorter. So I haven't cut all of them because I want to just test that I've got this right. So I've got 3 here, and in the window, one is going to come along the ground. Oh, that's not. Maybe that's it needs trimming a bit because that's not quite level. So that might need a trim. The upright, let's move the clock out the way. I know people follow to see how long it takes me to do it. It does take me a little longer because I'm filming everything. So that in theory is going to sit there. That probably just needs trimming a bit. And then at the top, let's move these guys out of it. At the top, that's got a slot in there at 57. So in theory, that's pretty close. So I might need a little bit of trimming, but I have actually got that worked out right. So I kind of got them in position now. I've sanded them down with sandpaper and positioned them. Now, originally I was thinking what I would do is I would use these little tiny angle brackets, metal brackets, to go on the outside of the frame and build it out here first. But I think if I do that, it might be a bit wonky and then not fit. So I'm going to build it in situ and then I'll have to paint it afterwards. And that means that putting these little metal frames on the outside, so that the frame would be here and they're not really seen, is not an easy thing to do. It's possible, I suppose, to bring it out a bit and put them on and then slide it in, but I'm not going to risk that. So I think what I should probably do, I'm in 2 minds. I could just glue them, and actually that might be the answer, or I could just screw just one in just to hold it together. Nothing really is going to move it. I put a little bit of battening underneath the shelf just to support it. It's not screwed to anything, and nothing is going on it. So in a way, I don't really need to go overboard and over-engineer it. Now, at this point, I need to mention a few things. I was out with the lovely Julia the other day on the seaside, and we met up with some viewers called the Peddler family, or the Pedder family. And so I just want to say hello to you, all of you, because they introduced themselves, said, we watch your videos, we love what you do, we love the DIY and all of that. They said, oh, do mention us in the video. So I've mentioned that. I also wanted to say that somebody recently asked me on Facebook if I could say a happy birthday to their partner, and I said yes, and then it completely went out of my mind, and I do apologize for that. So happy birthday to you. And I'm asking people on Facebook, because I put these videos on Facebook as well as YouTube, try not please to message me on Facebook, because I rarely go to Facebook. I don't overly like Facebook as a social media thing. I put it on there because we've established a place for them, but I don't really put the video, I don't communicate much on there. So if you want to communicate with me, do email me. Now, the other thing is, talking of doing this, and I'm going to give this a little whirl, and I'll see whether I want to just glue it or screw it. The other day I was mentioning with my power drill that it would be nice to have a one of these battery operated screwdriver drills, or that you could change them. Well, I got myself into a bit of pickle with this because 2 people have come to my aid. Yes, not just 1, but 2. And when I mentioned that, I hope that people didn't think that I was fishing, as it were, but 2 people came, and I now have 2 sets of battery operated drills. And so I found myself in a bit of a difficult situation. So one person has bought me a lovely set, and very expensive as well. He said, please don't mention my name. He knows who he is, and it's really kind and really generous, and I really was not expecting this. So, you know, my viewers are the best in the world. They really are, and they're so generous, and I don't know what to say. It's very humbling. So thank you. That's all I can say. I can say that Welshman Jason Patrick also sent me one of these, and this, he said, was a spare one that he wasn't using, barely used it, still in the packet. Would I like it? And they both arrived on the same day, and I sort of was a bit taken aback, really, as you can imagine. So I was mentioning this to Tim Tricker, who helped me with some stuff in the van recently, and of course he and Craig were helping put the sink in. And I said, oh, what do I do? He said, well, you can never have enough, because for one thing, put one in the van, charge it up and keep it in the van, because when you're out on touring, you never know when just trying to set something up will be useful as an onboard filming drill or screwdriver, electric screwdriver. And I thought, oh yeah. So I can keep one set at home and have one in the van. So I'll probably take Jason, I'll call this one Jason with me, and this set I'll keep at home, and then you'll see them out on the videos when I'm doing stuff. So that's really kind. Thank you very much. Right, I need to just see if I can screw these in and if it looks all right, and then that's it. Otherwise, I'll just glue the window frame, and then I think I'm just going to think about it. I'm not going to paint it. I'm not going to do anything, because I quite like the wood finish, even though it's not stained or painted. So I think I'm going to get to that point and then just let it go in my mind, because there's no hurry, and it'll be quite nice there. Okay, so even with an electric screwdriver, it's still quite tough with those tiny little screws, but I think I've got that all fixed in now, which is superb. So I'm going to leave that as it is, as I said before, I'm going to mull about it and see what I think. There's loads of other little jobs that I need to do, not only in the kitchen, but in the rest of the house. And if you do enjoy the DIY stuff, do let me know in the comments. I really appreciate that. But I will be out and about now for a while. I'm heading off to Plymouth. So by the time you see this video, I'll be packing up and getting ready to go. And so probably the next video, I imagine, will be maybe from Plymouth when I get down there. But we'll see. I'm not sure on the exact dates as yet. Everything's up in the air. But one window is done. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. And if you do like me doing these videos or the out and about videos, do support the channel if you can. It's very much appreciated. But until next time, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.